All right, let's be real. Who actually likes memorizing boring vocabulary lists? Nobody, right? So we're not going to do that. Instead, today we are going on a journey. We're not just learning random German words, we're going to build the entire story of an amazing holiday, from that very first spark of an idea all the way to those memories you'll hold on to forever.
So think of this as your personal storytelling toolkit. Seriously, by the end of this, you'll have all the keywords you need to talk about your own trip to Germany. So, you ready to pack your vocabulary bags? Let's get into it. Okay, so where does every great adventure begin? Well, it starts with a dream, and then, of course, a plan. This is where our story kicks off, in that super exciting first phase, planning the escape.
And it all kicks off with one absolutely beautiful word, der Urlaub. Now, this isn't just a vacation. No, it's the whole idea, right? The dream we all look forward to. This is our starting point, our anchor. You can actually boil down the whole planning process to just 3 essential German words. First up, you've got to choose your Reiseziel. That's your destination. Then you make it real. You buchen, which means you book everything. And finally, that last super important step before you can walk out the door, einpacken. You gotta pack.
And what exactly are you packing? Well, that would be das Gepäck, your luggage.
Ah, yes, the great puzzle we all have to solve, right? Trying to cram our entire life into one suitcase. And let's be honest, probably overpacking just a little bit. All right, the bags are packed, the tickets are booked, all that planning is behind us. We are officially on our way. The journey begins now. You know how it is. In our heads, the trip starts perfectly. A smooth, on-time Ankunft, the arrival. But let's be real, reality often has something else in mind. And that something else is usually called die Verspätung, the delay. It's pretty much a universal travel truth, isn't it? So if you're on a road trip, what is the #1 culprit for that delay? Oh yeah, you're looking right at it. Der Stau, the traffic jam. I don't know, even the word itself just sounds heavy and slow, doesn't it? And here's the full phrase you really, really hope you never have to use. Im Stau stehen. It literally translates to stand in a traffic jam, which honestly is the perfect way to describe that feeling of going absolutely nowhere fast. But hey, you made it through. The traffic is behind you, just a distant memory. You finally arrived. Now the real fun begins as we start exploring the destination. So first things first, what's your perfect lodge, your ideal location? What's your vibe? Are you a die Küste, the coast, and der Strand, the beach kind of person? Or maybe you prefer the peace and quiet of the Insel, an island. Or, hey, maybe you're an adventurer, drawn to das Gebirge, the mountains, or a beautiful national park. Okay, you've picked your spot. Now you need a place to stay, a home base. And Germany has tons of options. You could go for a classic hotel, or maybe get a little more space with a Ferienwohnung. That's a holiday apartment. If you want something cozier, more local, there's always a Pension, like a guest house. And of course, for the budget-conscious traveler, you've got Die Jugendherberge, the youth hostel. Okay, so picture this. After all the planning, the packing, the traveling, you finally open the door to your room, you step out onto the balcony, and that's it. That's the moment. The big payoff. You can finally breathe out and say, endlich, finally, and just soak in die Aussicht, the view. So you've arrived, you're settled in, you've taken in that amazing view. What's next? Well, now it's time to actually do stuff. Let's fill those days with adventures and activities. This brings us to a really important question. What kind of traveler are you? I mean, really, are you here to faulenzen, which is just a great word for lazing around and doing absolutely nothing? Or are you the type who has to viel unternehmen, do and see as much as humanly possible? And hey, there is absolutely no wrong answer here. So what does that actually look like? Well, you could spend your days just purely relaxing, sich entspannen. Or maybe you're going to hit the city and go sightseeing, eine Stadt besichtigen. If you're near the mountains, you're definitely going to go for a hike, or wandern. And you can always plan for a little day trip, right? Einen Ausflug machen. But the activities are awesome, but a vacation is always more than just the stuff you do. It's really about how it all makes you feel, and of course, the memories you walk away with. And really, that all boils down to one fantastic German word, die Stimmung. It means the mood, the vibe, the whole atmosphere. It's that thing you can't quite put your finger on, but it's what makes a trip feel truly special. Think about it.
A really great trip is always a mix of feelings, right? I mean, of course, you want it to be mostly glücklich, happy, and entspannend, relaxing. It should definitely be angenehm, which means pleasant. But let's be honest, sometimes the best trips are also just a little bit anstrengend or strenuous. That tiny bit of effort, that's what turns a trip into an adventure.
And then, when it's all said and done, when the trip is over, this is what you're left with. The ability, sich erinnern an, to remember. This is the phrase for holding on to all those moments, the big ones and the small ones, that made the whole journey unforgettable. Because when you really look back on it all, from the crazy planning to that annoying traffic jam, all the way to that perfect view, you realize it wasn't just a vacation, an Urlaub. It was a true Abenteuer, an adventure. So there you have it. Your vocabulary suitcase is officially packed. You now have the words to tell your entire holiday story, so the only question left is, where will you go? And what's your next Abenteuer gonna be?